Broadcasting live from the ACL Theater, the Moody Theater in Austin, Texas. Part 2 of our exclusive event with Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Last night, you heard the heartbreaking stories of family members whose loved ones were killed by illegal immigrants. And we also showed you a lot of statistics on the impact that illegal immigration is having on you, the American people. And we'll be putting those slides and information up on the screen all night. Also tonight, you're going to hear from former Texas Governor Rick Perry, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions, Donald Trump Jr., and many other experts on the issues. Plus, we sent a Hannity producer down to the border to capture the challenges that these brave men and women, our Border Patrol agents, are dealing with every single day. Now, here's just part of what you will see tonight. Let's take a look.
Illegal immigrants are pouring into our country. They are being released by the tens of thousands into our communities with no regard for the impact on public safety or resources.
Anything that comes across, whether it's human beings, whether it's narcotics, what people don't realize is that it takes a human being to bring something across.
By ending catch and release on the border, we will end the cycle of human smuggling and violence.
These are business ventures by criminal organizations.
We are going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration, to stop the gangs and the violence, and to stop the drugs from pouring into our communities.
Here now with Reaction 2016 Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump. Austin, a warm welcome for Mr. Trump. Let me go over, and I don't want to get specific, because this is now, we went over the crime statistics, $113 billion this country's paying a year, all the impact on education, on our criminal justice system, our healthcare system, and also the human toll.
Right.
We met victims' families last night, or families of victims. You want to build a wall. You're going to build that wall within 2 years?
It's not a question of wanting. We have no choice.
We're going to build a wall.
We have no choice.
Let's talk about, it's 2,000 miles. Explain, you're only going to build 1,000 of wall. What do you do on that other 1,000 miles?
Well, and like I said last night, it's 13,000 miles for China.
Right.
That was 2,000 years ago. And they had no trouble. They had plenty of labor, there's no question about it, but they had no trouble. So they built a 13,000-mile wall. We have 2,000 miles, but we need 1,000. So it's 1,000 versus 13,000, and it's modern. It'll get done so quickly, your head will spin. It gets done quickly. And it'll be a real wall. It'll be a real wall. It won't be one of these little toys that you see every once in a while. Our government throws up a little wall like this. Do you ever see the picture in the magazines where a ramp goes up and down? I don't know why they don't just push it over. It would have been cheaper. But
what do you think the right height should be?
The drugs come over, and the cash goes back.
What do you think the height should be?
Well, I think the height could be 35 to 45 feet. That's a good height. That's a good height. Anywhere in that neighborhood. Could be higher.
Let me go to the issue. We have 11.3 million illegal immigrants in the country now. Now, you said immediately last night, all criminal aliens out, day one. Correct? All right. Now,
by the way, that one's so simple. You know, there are some things where you sort of feel bad, and this one with we have these killers in this country.
Right.
They're heading up gangs. You go out exactly.
They lost their children right here behind you.
I mean, those guys, if we ever find them, if I'm president, oh, you're going to be trouble, such trouble. And you know, the other thing, and you're going to bring up some Border Patrol folks, and they're incredible people, but it is so hard for the police to, if somebody's protected between the sanctuary city nonsense, we got to get rid of the sanctuary city. We're protecting these people. So we're protecting criminals. And the police, who are phenomenal people, they're at a point where they just give up. They catch them, they have them, they know they did it, and then they know nothing's going to happen. So if you're a killer and you're in this country, they go after you big league and it's tough. If you're a killer and you're an illegal immigrant, the police don't know what to do.
Let me go back. I know we got into this a little bit last night, but I think this is going to be a big issue. And that is, okay, you're not a criminal alien. You committed no crimes, but you didn't respect our laws and sovereignty. You also seem to be indicating there might be something other than they have to go back.
Look,
am I reading that right?
We have to follow the laws of our country. We have to
so that means they go back.
We have to follow the laws. Now, can we be, and I'll ask the audience, you have somebody who's terrific, who's been here
20 years?
Right, long time. Long court proceeding, long everything, okay? In other words, to get them out. Can we go through a process, or do you think they have to get out? Tell me. I mean, I don't know. You tell me.
Well, let's do a poll. How many think they should go through a process that maybe give them a chance? Clap. We got to hear you.
How many people?
How many think they should go?
Well, but do it again. Do it again. So let me ask you, because this place is packed.
Yeah.
Does everybody get this kind of a crowd?
No. No.
It's very easy. That's why he keeps calling me back. See, this is why he keeps calling us back, right? But look, let me ask you the process. So you have somebody that's been in the country for 20 years, has done a great job, has a job and everything else. Okay, do we take him and the family, her or him or whatever, and send them out and they're gone? Or when somebody really has shown, it's called like the merit system, other than they did break the law in the first place, okay? And that's a little unfair to people, but we're going to let people come in anyway. They'll come in legally. We're going to let people come in anyway. It's not going to have an impact. So do we tell these people to get out, number one, or do we work with them and let them stay in some form? Okay, are you ready? I'm just curious, because it's a very interesting situation. No, wait. So the bad ones, the gang members, all them, what do you think? Does anybody disagree on the gang members? Is there one person? Yeah, there's a gang member over there. Okay. Is there one person? And I mean, we will get them out so fast. The police know who they are. This is no great secret, I wonder who they are. These police know, and the people know who they are. The police, they know who they are, and they're going to be gone so fast your head will spin. Okay, so that's easy, right? So now we have the person, 20 years, been an upstanding person. The family's great, everyone's great. Do we throw them out, or do we work with them and try and do something? Okay, ready?
Well, how many say work with them?
Number one, we'll say throw out. Number two, we work with them. Ready? Number one. Number two.
Now wait, but this is important, because so you're saying there is, and you have been sort of indicating that there will be some flexibility, that originally you had said they're all out and there was a big brouhaha, but you're saying that if somebody can prove that they've been here, proven to be a citizen, but here's the big question though.
Go ahead.
No citizenship.
No citizenship. No citizenship.
Everyone agree with that? All right.
I mean, go a step further. They'll pay back taxes. They have to pay taxes. There's no amnesty as such. There's no amnesty.
Right.
But we work with them. Now, okay, but when I look at the rooms, and I have this all over, now everybody agrees we get the bad ones out, but when I go through and I meet thousands and thousands of people on this subject, and I've had very strong people come up to me, really great people come up to me, and they've said, Mr. Trump, I love you, but to take a person that's been here for 15 or 20 years and throw them and the family out, it's so tough, Mr. Trump. I mean, I have it all the time. It's a very, very hard thing. So I gotta look. This is like a poll. There's thousands of people in this room. Who wants those people thrown out? No, who wants them? Who wants them? Who's the guy who wants them thrown out?
The guy who wants them thrown out. Stand up.
Stand up.
All right. Hold on. right, so there's that.
So who wants to work? By the way, no amnesty, no citizenship, etc. Who doesn't want them thrown out? So who does not want them thrown out?
Stand up. There you go. All right, so then that raises, Mr. Trump, that raises a really important question. You heard from the audience. What does your gut tell you?
Well, look, this is like a poll.
Right.
But this is like a poll. And I love the guy that stood up and said, where's that guy? I love this guy. This is my guy. I mean, I get it. I get it. And I understand what you're saying. But this is sort of like a poll. And this is what I'm getting all over the country. Please, please. We are going to come out with a decision very soon. The bad guys are out of here. Now, that one we agree on. I mean, they're going to be out of here even faster than you could throw them out, okay? I'm telling you. They're going to be out, and they're going to be
Where's
out.
Where's the lady from the last hour? She was great. Okay.
No. No. But you know, the few people that stood up, there weren't that many for the number two,
right.
But the few people that stood up, I get that. I mean, I really get that. And we do have a thing called jobs. You know, from the economy standpoint, we can't get jobs for our own people, and we're supplying jobs. But everywhere I go, I get the same reaction. They want toughness, they want firmness, they want to obey the law, but they feel that throwing them out as a whole family when they've been here for a long time, it's a tough thing. They do feel that.
Let me throw a statistic into the mix here, if you all don't mind. All right, so illegal immigrants, we have 95 million Americans right now out of the labor force.
Right.
Okay. We have the lowest labor participation rate in the 70s, the lowest home ownership rate in 51 years, the worst recovery since the 40s, and this guy's doubled our national debt. And we have 12 million more Americans on food stamps, 8 million more in poverty. So if we secure the border, that would prevent competition for the 95 million out of work.
100%.
And it's also driving down wages.
By the way, when he says secure, I mean this is a real border. We're not playing games. This is a real border. And those people that have been working so hard to come into the country and going through the process, we're going to take them in and we're going to cherish them and they're going to love us. We want the ones that want to love us, not the ones that want to create problems.
There's one other aspect to this, and then we got to go to break, and that is your extreme vetting. Because it's not just the border, and we got into this a little last night. If you grow up in a country and you think, by the way, I don't know what your life is like at home. I'm not telling my daughter, my sisters, my wife how to dress. They get to drive a car. They also get to decide for themselves about school and work, etc. We don't discriminate against people that are Jewish, etc. So my question is...
I know exactly what your question is. They come in from Syria, and they come in through the migration, and we have no idea who they are. We have no idea. They give you phony papers or they don't have any papers. We're not going to allow them to come into this country. Hillary Clinton wants them to pour into the country. We're not going to allow them to come into the country.
We're just getting started. We'll continue. More with Donald Trump. He is here for the entire hour. Up next, we'll be joined by former Texas Governor Rick Perry, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions. Plus, we sent a Hannity producer down to the border to speak with Border Patrol agents about the challenges that they're facing on a daily basis. We've got that tape, and we'll show you what they saw, including an arrest right here, not far from Austin. Straight ahead.
We got this probably about 18-foot tall fence, or what we call pedestrian fence. People will say that, this won't stop anybody from coming across. And they're right, it won't stop. But what's going to do for us Border Patrol agents, is one very important thing. It's going to slow them down. It's going to give us the right amount of time for us to get here and prevent. And if we can't prevent, if this people or this person decides to make an entry, we're going to have the ability and the time to make an apprehension.
The Fox News Alert, I'm Jackie Ibanez in New York with the very latest on that deadly earthquake in central Italy. At this hour, rescue crews are still digging through piles of rubble, hoping to find survivors. But the work is overwhelming. As you can imagine, the 6.2 quake leveled 3 towns and destroyed entire rows of ancient buildings. In some places, rescue efforts have stopped for the night because the work is just too dangerous. Many searchers there are using their bare hands to comb through the debris, but aid and fire from a devastated town pulled a 10-year-old girl alive from the rubble. Tent cities are being set up to house the thousands of people who have been left homeless. So far, 159 people are confirmed dead. That number is expected to climb, but no one can say how much higher. Central Italy attracts many tourists this time of year. Officials fear some may be trapped in their hotels. I'm Jackie Ibanez. Now, back to Hannity.
Narcotics and contraband are just part of the border. The important thing is that they don't come across by themselves. It takes a human being to bring them across. We did see a drop in apprehensions after 2006 when the fence came about, when the right mix of technology and infrastructure came about, but yet we didn't see that drop in narcotics. You know, those are not controlled by the economy. It doesn't matter if there's jobs in the United States or not, drugs are still going to be tried to be brought into the United States.
All right, that was a Border Patrol agent talking about drugs being smuggled all across the border. Back in July of 2014, the Texas Department of Public Safety gave me a briefing about the border, along with then Governor Rick Perry. Watch this.
90% of our undocumented aliens that are apprehended along the Texas border occurs here in the Rio Grande Valley. 84% of other than Mexicans that are apprehended in Texas occurs here in the Rio Grande Valley area. The criminal aliens have been responsible for about 642,000 criminal offenses.
You've got homicides over 3,000 committed by criminal aliens.
Joining us now, former Texas Governor Rick Perry in his home state, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Alabama Senator Jeff Sessions, and we continue with Donald Trump. What a warm Austin welcome. Thank you all. Governor. Governor, I was not supposed to be in that briefing with you. Obama was supposed to be there, but he didn't go. Now, for those of you that couldn't see the monitor, that showed from 2008 to 2014, 7-year period, in your state while you were governor, 642,000 crimes committed against Texans alone, including murder, rape, all sorts of crimes. That is, to me, the most underreported story in the country. Tell us about it.
Well, the real issue for me is that southern region of that border, and that was what we brought to the attention of you and your viewers and the people of this country, that 150-mile region. Mr. Mayor, 53% of all the apprehensions along the entire 1,800-mile border from Tijuana to Brownsville occurred right there. Wow. And what we wanted to show the president was that, look, Mr. President, you fish where the fish are, and you go where the problems are. I mean, they get up and they talk about, oh, we put this much money into Border Patrol, or we've done this much, or we've done this much on border security. And the fact is, they're putting the resources in the wrong places. If they would put the resources along that southern region where the real problems are, then you would see extraordinary impacts. And we saw by putting our law enforcement already on the border, driving down those. One thing I do know, when Donald Trump is the President of the United States, we'll have somebody that cares about securing that border. I know that.
You know,
You'll be there.
I've been down to the border, as I said, about a dozen times, all the way from the Rio Grande to San Diego. Drug warehouses, tunnels underneath. I've been in all-terrain vehicles, helicopter, boats with you, horseback. That was a joke. And I was out, and I've seen gang members arrested. When we were doing a show, Rio, away from us that day. Governor, he's America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani, good friend of mine. The mayor of New York City, and you took a murder rate of 2,500 about a year, and you drove it down to about 500. You had 650,000 New York City residents alone on welfare. What was the number when you left?
We got it down by 500, 600,000.
Okay. And here's my question. Donald Trump says extreme vetting. Donald Trump says control the border. I remember the media went after you with a vengeance like they're going after him. True or false?
I remember. I had all the scars back here.
Yeah.
They're back there. Hundreds of New York Times editorials when I required people on welfare to work. They went crazy. They went crazy. I required them to work 18 hours a week, and I went to all of the different places I could go where the poor people lived, and I said to them, "I'm doing it for your good, because I want you to, I want you to get up in the morning and go to work." And Rick is absolutely right. The program that helped us the most in reducing crime was the CompStat program. You know what the CompStat program did? It took our police department, and instead of having them sitting in precincts where there was no crime, the CompStat program, because he analyzed crime every day, moved the police around to where the crime really was. One of the reasons we had so much crime in New York was because we were, as Donald Trump occasionally says, we were stupid. I swear to God, we were stupid. We had the cops, we had them in the wrong place. The crime was taking place on the subway platforms, and we had our police officers in the subway cars.
But what I saw, and I watched this whole process, and you don't back down from the media. You didn't back down from the media. You didn't back down. Senator Sessions didn't back down. It seems that when 65% of every exit poll in those primaries said that Republicans felt betrayed by the Republican Party, isn't it? Right? Isn't it because that they don't have the courage to take the stand? And Senator Sessions, I'll ask you, what do you say to some of your fellow Republicans that are mysteriously reluctant and resistant to keep their pledge and to support the candidate?
Well, Donald Trump has spoken out for millions of Americans. He has been their voice. And he's proven that by the scars that he's taken in defending us and the values that we believe in. And so I tell my Republican colleagues, you need to listen to this. Donald Trump is bringing in new voters, people who are frustrated and tired of the system as it is. We need to listen to what his message is and join with it, and we'll have a great party with a new surge of voters to lead to victory.
Mr. Trump, this raises a really interesting question. By the way, you have every reason to be mad at Governor Perry, because if Governor Perry didn't create 1 million jobs just in Texas alone, Obama would have had negative job growth in the course of his presidency. So here's a question, though. These are 3 men that have governed successfully. Are these 3 people you would want to work for you? And if you...
Absolutely. I'll tell you, because you really did ask Rick Perry a little bit of a tough question. Rick is saying, I don't like this question. Rick Perry was a great governor. He did a fantastic job as governor. Fantastic. I think we have somebody.
Yeah. Oh, we got one more protester. All right. By the way,
so now when it goes out,
I feel like I'm back in New York.
Exactly. All right, we got it. I don't think y'all didn't hear Rudy Giuliani. The mayor said, I feel like I'm back in New York. I feel back at home. We got to take a break. I want to ask you one quick question. Donald Trump's agenda about refugees, about the wall, the border, his plan to repeal Obamacare, his originalist justices, fixing the VA, building up our military. Do you three as advisors, because do you think it would be a good idea if you put it down on paper and said, Donald Trump promises to America? His top 15 items. Good idea or bad idea? Governor Perry.
It's a good idea, and basically he's done that. I mean, he's laid out very clearly for the American people.
I want to see it in gold Trump leaf.
Well,
yeah.
Well, you know, I think if it were in writing like that, Sean, it would be hard for a lot of these Republicans who are not supporting him. After all, that's what the party stands for, right?
Right.
For the last 8 years, we're against Obamacare. We're in favor of lowering taxes. We're in favor of getting rid of regulations.
Yeah.
We're in favor of stopping illegal immigration.
Supreme Court judges.
And we are in
The
favor
Supreme Court justices. What a huge, by the way, Hillary's justices or Mr. Trump's justices? Who do you pick, right?
What do they want? What is it that they want that they're not getting from? You know what they want? They want to be able to control them. They want them to be part of the old machine, the way things
Oh, the New
used to
York
work.
Times quoted me as nobody controls him. So, that was this week.
That's it.
Senator Sessions, last word.
Well, I think Donald Trump represents probably the last chance we have to fix Obama.
With that, we're going to take a break. When we come back, experts tell us the real risk that illegal immigration posing to our country. Also, Donald Trump's son, Don Jr., will join us. That and more as Hannity continues from Austin, Texas. Glad you're with us.
Most of the people that we apprehend, these are individuals that are coming here to find a better way of life. But most of these people will pay somebody to either guide them across or show them how to get across. And it just literally depends on how much money you have and what you're willing to spend. If you got, plenty good money, they're going to take you all the way to the end of the destination. If you don't have enough money, they're going to show you where to cross, and then it's up to you to do the rest. So they place these bulletproof glasses along the border. It did serve its purpose. It still serves its purpose today. Places like this help agents when they're under attack, when anything's happening, they can get behind this, and it'll be more or less coverage for them.
All right, that was more of the video that one of my producers shot during his ride along with the Border Patrol in Texas over the weekend. Joining us now from the Center for Immigration Studies, Jessica Vaughn, National ICE Council President Chris Crane, and from the National Border Patrol Council, Brandon Judd. Donald Trump stays with us. Jessica, what would you like to tell? This is what you study every day. What does he need to know if he's president to get this job done and secure the borders of this country?
Well, the first thing, obviously, is to enforce the laws. Let our career men and women who work for the Department of Homeland Security and the State Department do their job.
How many people have been murdered over the last 10 years from illegal immigrants? Do we know?
We don't know. That's a problem in and of itself. We need to keep track and make sure that criminals are the highest priority and that we're not allowing the release of criminal aliens back into our communities to put people at risk.
What are the important aspects? You hear his plan. You hear about his plan about visas, people overstaying them. You hear, for example, no birthright citizenship, correct?
Right.
Okay. That's been a huge problem. What else? If we really want to fix the problem, soup to nuts, A to Z, how do we do it?
Well, first of all, Sean, it starts with interior enforcement. That's the part of this puzzle that's been completely ignored. Brandon is the Border Patrol. We're the interior enforcement side of this. The New York Police Department has 34,000 officers to protect New York. We've got 5,000 officers in 50 states, Guam, Puerto Rico, Saipan, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, trying to police 13 million illegal aliens, as well as the folks that are here legally. And 40%, almost half of all illegal immigrants in our country, don't ever cross the border. They don't come in contact with the Border Patrol. They came here on visas and they overstayed. We are set up for failure, and Congress knows it.
Isn't that what happened on 9/11?
I'm sorry?
Isn't that what happened with some of the hijackers?
Yes, 19 of them were.
19, right? Okay. What are the other aspects? If we really want to solve the problem, soup to nuts.
You have to let us do the job. What they're doing is they're handcuffing Border Patrol agents, and they're letting the illegal aliens dictate to us what our job is. We have to end the catch and release program. You've got to get rid of that magic magnet that is bringing these people over here.
But that's what you're going to get the criminal aliens out.
And by the way, these are incredible people. These are incredible people. They know what to do. They know what to do.
So really what you're saying is you'll empower them, give them the support they need to fulfill the agenda.
They want to do the job. They know the job better than anybody. You can do reports. You can hire people to do studies. These people know better than anybody what has to be.
Will his wall work? Is that a 30-foot wall? Will that do it?
It's a force multiplier. It will absolutely help us secure the border. One of the things that I absolutely appreciate about Mr. Trump is he came to us, the first conversation that I had with him, he asked me, what needs to be done? He took our advice and he said, that's good advice. I hadn't thought about that before. And
by the way, I don't think Obama listens to anybody.
No, he doesn't. No. But he's certainly never listened to us.
Well, wait. He listens to Reverend Wright, the Church of GD America. All right. Last thing. You talked about a commission to defeat ISIS and radical Islam.
Right.
Will you bring a commission to secure the border and the vetting, the extreme vetting?
Well, I think it's a great idea. I must be honest. I don't think you need that much of a commission because if I round up your top 10 people, they have my commission right there. That's a lot better than a commission. I don't think you need the formality of a commission. I will get a few of the people that know it so well, much better than any commission could ever know it.
Right.
I'll take a guy like Rick Perry, who really has done a tremendous job and really understands the border, and maybe put him in charge. But I will tell you that we already know what has to be done. The problem is we don't do it. We don't do it.
True. So true. Thank you all for being with us. When we come back, Donald Trump Jr. will join us along with his father on the set as Hannity continues from Austin, Texas.
The vast majority of deaths of migrants and rescues here in El Paso occur in the waterways. Most of the rescues occur in the canal that's right behind us here. These canals run 12 feet deep and anywhere between 35 and 45 miles an hour during irrigation season. So those are the ones that take most of the rescues and deaths.
All right, that was more of the footage our Hannity producers took right here on the border late this week. Joining us now, Donald Trump Jr., the son of the candidate. Thank you. So, I'm not even asking you this question. The first time I had him on this show advocating for you, I said to him on air, I think I was the first person to say that he is going to follow in your footsteps. Come on.
I never know, man. I never rule anything out, but it's just been incredible to watch and experience what he's been able to do. I mean, when you go around the country and you have crowds like this, who just putting their heart and soul into this campaign, it's a different feeling. It doesn't feel like a political event. It's like a rock concert.
I talked to you. It's almost like we're having this conversation. Your father's not even here. You once told me your dad, you look at him as a blue-collar billionaire.
I do. I mean, you can see the way he speaks to people. He recognizes it. And what made him so successful in business, Sean, is that he spent time on job sites. He talked to the guys painting walls, pouring concrete, putting up sheetrock. I said it in my convention speech. That allowed him to be a better businessman. He didn't sit in his office, hide away from the guys doing the real work and pretend he knew everything by looking at a spreadsheet. He got dirty. He got into the mix, and it really differentiated him from other builders. And I think that's why he's able to relate to those people and talk to them.
Look, all of your brothers and sisters, and I know all of you, you're all incredible people in and of your own right, so he had to do something right.
He did.
You actually went out of your way to tell me, yes, you had a very fortunate upbringing, but there's a caveat. He did not give you everything and won't give you everything.
No, we recognize how lucky.
You don't get to use the plane?
No, we don't use the plane without him. It's just, but we wouldn't want to. We understand the value of a dollar.
So I can't ask him to borrow it? That's not going to happen.
I don't know. Maybe you, not me.
Okay.
But he taught us the value of a dollar. He taught us the value of hard work. He made us work with those same people that I was talking about. So I joke, we're the sons of billionaires that can drive a Caterpillar because we did those things. Those are the jobs that we had. So
listen, I spent 10 years in the restaurant business. I was 12 years old washing dishes by hand, 13 a cook, busboy, waiter, bartender, and I did every job in construction for nearly 10 years. And that is always in the back of my head. So I think that's really important. Let me ask you this. You watch the media pound on your father. I could name names and I could go on for hours. How does that impact you? Because I know if it was my son, You know, that's got to hurt.
You know, I think it probably affects us a lot more than it does him. He's sort of impervious to these things. I mean, but you know, I know the guy. You know, I know the father. I know the grandfather. You know, I know the way he is with my little children. By the way, perhaps more importantly than all of that, as it relates to the election,
is he a real softy at home, reading books and playing with teddy bears?
He can,
is that
on his own terms. You know, on his own terms. But you know, more importantly than any of that, because we're talking about an election, I see the way he is with his employees, the people who he's given jobs, the tens of thousands of jobs he's created, and those people are with us for 10, 20, 30 years. And it's not because they have some sort of cush job. It's because they know that he's looking out for them. They know that he's given them opportunities that they wouldn't get elsewhere. The blue-collar guys that have become executives that wouldn't have been executives at other companies, he gave them those opportunities. And that's why he's resonating with everyone.
There's a YouTube video. Remember, I went to meet you and Erica on an unrelated matter, and there is a woman that works for you. She happens to be a black American, African American woman, and she did this whole video about you. I asked her to come on my show, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not going on TV." Did you see that video?
I did. She was terrific, and a terrific woman, and works actually with Don and Eric. And she is a fantastic woman. I was so proud of her when I saw her on television.
Would you like to see Don Jr. go in politics one day? You've seen him on enough TV shows.
I think it's a very hard thing to do. I'll be honest. It's so nasty. You say something and they take your words and they mince them up and chop them up, and then they debate what you didn't say for the next 3 days. It's a very dirty business. I mean, honestly, I think I'd prefer that he just keep doing the great job. They're doing a great job. They're great kids.
In North Carolina, you did something that made a lot of news. You said, "Yeah, I regret some of the things that I've said. What the problems of the country are far too important to get distracted." And that took a lot of people by surprise.
Well, I do. I regret things. I like in life, you know, everything you...
You regret lying, Ted?
Well,
no,
I don't...
Kidding. Crooked Hillary?
No, not that much. But not everything. But, you know, we've had a tremendous campaign. We've had a tremendous success. I started out, it was 17. Now there's one person left, and we're going to make America great again. That's all it is. We want to make America great again. That's what the whole thing is about.
Would you like your kids to be in the White House with you if you become president?
Well, I think what they would do is probably stay back and run the business. I'll have nothing to do with it whatsoever.
Yeah,
I mean, I couldn't care less about it. We have such a job to do.
We got to take a break. When we come back, AJ Delgado is here to explain why she says Latinos should vote for Donald Trump come November. That and more as we continue in Austin, Texas at the Moody Theater. Welcome back to Hannity's. We are broadcasting live from the ACL Theater, Moody Theater in Austin, Texas. Earlier this week, Trump campaign surrogate AJ Delgado wrote an op-ed for the Washington Post that was entitled, "Why Latinos Should Vote for Trump." She joins us now along with Donald Trump. Good to see you, AJ.
Thanks, John. Thanks.
That's a great question. You know, some people say, well, Donald Trump, he wants to build a wall, and Donald Trump, he wants legal immigration, therefore, the Hispanic community will not vote for Donald Trump. You say not true.
Absolutely not true. And as I wrote in the article, I don't support Donald Trump in spite of being Latina. I support you because I'm Latina.
But we don't have a lot of time, so explain that, though. That's important.
It comes down to two issues. Illegal immigration hurts working class Latinos, just like it hurts working class African Americans. Two, only Mr. Trump is serious about jobs and the economy and has a plan to bring back the jobs we've lost, stop the outsourcing of jobs, and stop those trade deals that are killing these jobs. That's all we want.
By the way, AJ gets so mad at me. You know, she graduated from Harvard Law School. And I always, you get embarrassed. I'm like, you should own that. We're right? We're proud of her. What would you say to Mr. Trump, now that you have this moment with him, to help him with the Hispanic vote? Because the media narrative is he can't get that vote.
He already has that vote. And rather than telling you what you can do, I just want to say thank you because you speak about being a voice for the forgotten people, and it's an honor to support you not only as an American but as a Latina American. You've given us a voice. Thank you.
Pretty amazing. Mr. Trump. I think she hit on a very important point. Disproportionately, because of illegal immigration, 95 million Americans out of the labor force, the black and Hispanic community has been hurt the most. And not only are they competing for jobs, it's driving wages way down.
100%.
And that's a big part of the equation.
A lot of the people in this room, as an example, their wages are lower now than they were 18 years ago. Think of that. And they're working 2 jobs in many cases, largely in some cases due to Obamacare. And that should not be. We're getting older and we're working harder and we're making less. That can't be.
All right, we got to take a break. Our final moments with Donald Trump. AJ, good to see you. Thank you. Give it up, AJ. We'll have more Hannity from Austin, Texas, right after the break. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. We're broadcasting tonight from ACL Live at the Moody Theater in Austin, Texas. You all have a good time? Unfortunately, that's all the time we have left for this evening. As always, thank you for being with us. We'll be back in New York tomorrow night. Mr. Trump, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you out on the campaign trail. Thank you. Donald Trump, ladies and gentlemen.